It's almost inevitable that at some stage in your career you'll be faced with decisions about direction. Sometimes these can be easy enough. I call those 90-10 decisions, where a lot of factors on one side outweigh the alternative. But as we get older and we have more considerations, career decisions can be difficult. I've faced difficult decisions on a number of occasions myself, and at times found them really quite stressful. So I've put together a few thoughts that I hope can make this easier for you. I'm going to categorize your thinking into 3 areas of exploration. The first is self-knowledge. Fundamentally, does the path you are considering fit with who you are and, more important, who you want to be? Our personalities are not static, we evolve. Does this role suit the evolution that you would like to make? The test that I like best is to imagine how it will feel explaining this decision some years from now. Can you see yourself talking to a group of students or your children and describing this decision as part of your career journey? And when you do that, is it a decision that you feel good explaining? Are you proud of the decision? Does it align with your values? The second area of exploration is the logical and the practical. Does the new path make sense? You can ask yourself a number of questions. Is it consistent with your career plan and the positions you aspire to take in the future? Does it feel like progress? You don't want a role that you could have done adequately already some years ago. You need to stretch as you go forward. Is this a role where you can see yourself being successful? By that I mean, does it fit with your natural aptitude? Can you see how you can use your abilities to get a win in this role? A challenge is always good. We grow through adversity, but a lost cause is not, and it's good to learn to tell the difference. And are you going to be configured well? Let me explain what I mean by that. Do the practicalities of this new existence, the location, the hours, the travel burden, fit with how you want to be living your life at this time? Does it work for you and also the people closest to you? The third and final area of exploration is the people you will work with. The people around you every day will have the single biggest influence on whether you're happy in this position or not. You're not looking for carbon copies of yourself, nor are you necessarily looking to make best friends, but do ask yourself if, in the main, that these people have similar underlying values as you. Is there some sense of connection? Also, consider the idea that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend most time with. Do you see that association with this group will stretch you and raise your game? And last, what can you imagine regarding the relationship with your boss? It's very hard to be happy in a role if the dynamic with your boss isn't good. So take some time to imagine how you'll work and communicate with one another and the respective roles that you'll play. If you work through these 3 explorations, self-knowledge, logic and people, insights will drop out and decisions will be easier. Whatever the time constraints seem to be, don't let yourself feel rushed. Realize that these choices are important and you need to choose deliberately and wisely. It can be good to ask for opinions from friends or mentors, especially people who know you well, but remember that no one can choose for you. Ultimately, it must be your call. And then, when you've made a decision, you have to put it behind you and live with it. Only one path is possible. By definition, choice means you have to leave the other path behind, and the consequences of that one will be forever unknown. Later, you can evaluate and reflect on what you've learned from the decision, but don't look back or harbour any regrets. You have to make choices in your career, and if you work through them with this sort of rigour, you will be more than likely to make the right call.